Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 114 of Psycho's Platters. I know it's been a little bit, sorry, but lots of weird things going on in my life and in the neck of the woods. I hope everybody has had themselves a great couple weeks of crate digging and life in general. Quick little update for everybody in the BC that's been still praying for my dad. He ended up having to get a body scan test. It involved dye and stuff like that. He is supposed to know the results of that test literally tomorrow. So I'm hoping by the next episode or two, I'll have either some pleasant news or, well, let's just say pleasant news. Okay? So this particular episode here is the final in the three-part trilogy. Da-da-da, that's right. It's part 3 of the 25-cent LP find. Yeah, remember I've said over the last couple episodes I went to this particular thrift shop. They deal with quarter albums and quarter records all the time. You just never know what you're going to find. This is the place that I found that $1,000 45 about almost 2 years ago. $1,000 45. Really cool stuff. You never know what's going to come into this place. You never do. So this is the last batch of it. I still have another video or two, though, of some other things that I've picked up over the last few weeks, but I wanted to concentrate on this. So, first album right off the bat, from 1982, Mike Rutherford's Acting Very Strangely. I like Genesis. Do you like Genesis? I like Genesis. I like him in all the realms. Of course, Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, and Steve Wilson. Yeah, even Congo's an interesting track off Calling All Stations, I think. But anywho, everyone in Genesis had solo careers. This, if I remember correctly, was Mike Rutherford's first stab at a solo career in '82. This is before Mike and the Mechanics, of course. Here's the front, there's the back. This is on Atlantic. Pretty much the only guest stars that he had on here of any recognition. Daryl Stuermer. Daryl Stuermer was a member of Genesis since the late '70s, if I remember correctly. Um, Basically tour guitarist. I think he also helped in some of the studio ones too. Something tells me he was involved in Abacab. I do remember seeing a credit of his for that, and possibly even the Genesis sound from '83. So he's been a decent contributor to the band. And also on here from the Police, Stuart Copeland. He plays drums on here as well. So that'll be a real cool one to check out. You like Sex Pistols? I like Sex Pistols. This isn't a Sex Pistols per se, as it is a solo. Steve Mercy in 1980. Steve Jones. I'm tired, man. Steve Jones in 1987 cut an album out called Mercy on MCA. Here's the front. Here's the back. This is pretty much a good hard rock album. The single Mercy ended up being used in a Miami Vice episode. If you remember watching Miami Vice, kind of like I did. I didn't watch all of them, but I did watch enough. I just don't quite remember this episode, but it's in there. And then the only other people of note, there's a couple really good session drummers, Mickey Curry and Jim Keltner are on this album, all over it. All right. This is kind of cool to have this from 1984 on EMI America. Russ Ballard. If that name sounds familiar to you, good. If it doesn't, he's had a really, really good writing history. I mean, going back to, of course, Argent, with Hold Your Head Up. This one here happens to have Voices. This was the hit pretty much off of this one from '84. The people of note on this one a little bit, Simon Phillips is on here. Of course, he was in The Who. You know, he was a tour drummer for The Who and also Toto after Jeff Porcaro's death. Curly Smith. Curly Smith was in JoJo Gunn from the '70s and Boston as well. And Stuart Elliott. Stuart Elliott was in the band Pilot. You know that song, Oh, 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 it's magic. I can't sing. Okay, but anyway, so that's that one. You remember I showed you guys over the last couple episodes a bunch of albums from this band. Well, I forgot this one too. This one here, just basically called Prism from 1977. They were on a bunch of labels here in the States. I'm beginning to realize that. I showed you guys, I think they were on GTR for one of their mid-70s outings, Capitol Records in one of their early 80s outings. Let me see if I can pull this one out really quick. This one here is on Areola America. They did at least an album for them. I am still yet to play these things. I mean, they tried though, didn't they? But they just couldn't do good. You know, Canadian band. They tried cracking down here, and it just really didn't do that well. All right. From 1981, I found another Gary Wright album. I remember this one when I was a teenager. This one's called The Right Place. This is the front. This is the back. The only people of note on here with him, there's on one or two songs singing background vocals, David Pack, who was in Ambrosia, and Tim Schmidt from the Eagles, of course, post-Eagles. So that's on that one. This one was a head scratcher. There really isn't that much on this, though. The Arrows, Stand Back from 1984 on A&M Records. Arrows are a Canadian band. If I remember correctly, they cut 2 albums in the mid-'80s, and that was about it. The only person of, I guess, of note, I'm told, is Dean McTaggart. This is Dean McTaggart. He ended up writing some hit songs for some Canadian artists, and I guess even Winona covered one too. So that pretty much was about it too. These are some other quarter finds, slightly different source, but still cool. I got them this week. I got an original 1966 press of The Best of the Animals. This is a gatefold. I've been looking for a decent copy of this. It needs some cleaning. It does. But it is, of course, on the original MGM. 1968. I didn't have this Gary Puckett album. Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, Young Girl. I think Doug asked me if it was on the 360. And yes, it is. It is a stereo copy on the 360. Like I said, these ones need cleaning. The other ones are in really great shape. And then this is the first time I've ever found this one. Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels break out with special added attraction. Devil with a blue dress on and Good Golly Miss Molly on New Voice Records from 1966. And of course, after Mitch Ryder and the Detroit Wheels broke up per se in 1968, you know, John Bandajek, you know, was pretty much the only one that really stood by Mitch Ryder on and off over the years. But he would go in the 70s with some of the other members and form the band The Rockets, and ended up having some minor fame in the 70s. All right. I would like to go off. I have a couple new subscribers. Thank you, thank you. I'm up to 147, guys. Would you guys do me a favor between now and the next episode? Help me get to 150. I have been doing this show for almost 3 years. 3 years almost, guys. I love you guys. I really, really do. Is it something I'm missing here? Because I have taken a look and noticed a lot of these newer channels have already surpassed me in subscribers. I don't understand. Am I doing something wrong? I know it's not cool to be in the, some people jokingly call it the Care Bear room or whatever, okay? I'm working on that. Actually, to tell you the God's honest truth, I'm working on trying to get some new equipment, if that would even help in the broadcast. I'm trying to work on that. As you know, the holidays are coming, and it's kind of tough. But is there like something you're not seeing in Psycho's Platters that you'd like to see? I mean, I'm willing to take contributions in this, just positive or negative on this, just so I know what we're dealing with. So would you guys do me a favor? Tell a friend this week about this channel. I'd like to really honestly get to 150 by next episode. That would help me out a lot. And help you guys out too, because then I mention your names like I'm going off now. The new subscribers for this episode is Anishna, Anishna Bowen, Bowin, Anishna Bowen. And I think he's over from England. I haven't had a chance to converse with them on this, so I hope I'm doing this right. Sable Stable, Sablestable. So Sable Stable. Thank you both for being new subscribers this week. Also, I promised last week a shout out and I forgot, so this is my bad. So I'm doing it this episode. You know what? There's a neat little record store that I am subscribed to on Facebook. Okay, and I want you to do the same thing too. Vinyl Request Records is on Facebook. Vinyl Request Records on Facebook. He's got a physical store. He could do mail order. He also does occasional contests if you're a Facebook member. So it might behoove you to go check that out when you've got time. Vinyl Request Records on Facebook. Also, some subscribers to check out, for this week: Earhead 6, Thump Finger, and T-Mex 1959, TMECS 1959. Go check out all those channels. You will not be sorry on that. Now for the usuals: Wax Museum with Ronnie Dark and the Night Owl Lounge with Mike Adams. Two of the best damn Sunday night shows, period, that are out there. Go subscribe to both of them on Facebook. Wax is Sunday night 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard. Night Owls 9 to 10 Central Standard p.m. Listen to them on Uber stations. That is going to be your best link, at least for this guy. This is the best link to listen to those shows on. Crystal clear, barely any interruptions. So I guess I'm giving a commercial for Uber stations too. All right, Thrifty Music Collectors, Tim Smith and Company. The group's growing. I'm seeing it. I love it. It's wonderful. Fantastic. Carry On My Wayward Son, Don't You Cry No More. Shindig, the best damn English music magazine that is out there. Seriously. I read the Fleetwood Mac issue. Oh, that was so cool. Very, very cool issue on that one. I cannot remember what the new one's going to be. I want to say Small Faces, but I could be wrong on this. I read a blurb on it. And then lastly, the YouTube vinyl community, because without you, I wouldn't be here. Nobody would be here. So until next episode, I hope to be back in the room for the next episode. Take care, God bless, and rock on.